Hey, Gustavo Neri with AB Boxing News, and I'm here with Virgil Ortiz, 6-0, 6 KOs. What's going on, man? How's everything?
Everything's good. How about you?
Everything good out here, taking a trip down here in Cali, man. I'm very honored for you guys to welcome here in your gym, Joel Diaz's gym. So my first question is, it's almost about 1 year you made your professional debut. Tell us about the experience when you made your pro debut and the transition from amateur to pro.
It wasn't a whole lot of a big transition, but it was kind of big because that was the first time I fought without a headgear. Shirt wasn't a big deal at all, but and making the weight too, I had to drop even more, but it was only for 1 day, so that was, I like that better. And the smaller gloves too, you definitely hit a lot harder with it, and you can hurt them easier. But other than that, it wasn't a big transition. I'm learning to pace myself a little bit more because there's more time in the rounds and stuff, and more rounds obviously. But it's pretty good from going amateur to pro.
You're still young at the age of 19 years old. In terms of the maturity, do you think you still have room to mature more, or you feel like?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of room to mature. Honestly, in my fights, I didn't really like my performances in any of my fights recently because I'm not used to it right now. But I'm still doing good because that's my talent. But when I start getting used to it and maturing more, I'm gonna do a lot better.
You are signed to Golden Boy Promotions. Just speak about how they contact you and the advice that Oscar De La Hoya and Eric Gomez give you on every fight of your performance.
I see them from time to time. They're really knowledgeable about the whole sport of boxing, especially Oscar. He was in it himself, and he was one of the all-time greats. And Eric Gomez too. He gives me a lot of advice. He's a real good person, as long as Oscar too. And it's really good to have people like them so knowledgeable in the sports and have them on my side and helping me out whenever I need them to.
On a previous interview, you stated that your strongest skills is fighting in the inside. So, if an opponent finds a way to neutralize your strongest skills, what other skills can you provide for that opponent?
I'm very good at the inside fighting, but I'm also good at outside fighting. I'm a very well-rounded fighter. I adapt when I need to because I know not every fighter's the same, so you can't fight everybody the same. But if someone were to neutralize my inside fighting, then I just box them, and everyone's gonna tire eventually. So I'm gonna get them on the inside no matter what.
This year, we've seen a lot of great fighters retired. You got Vladimir Klitschko, Timothy Bradley, Juan Manuel Marquez, Robert Guerrero. Out of those names, which one do you think had one more run in them?
I think Timothy Bradley had one more run in him. Marquez, Klitschko, and other one was they're already kind of old, and Bradley, I think he had one more. Like he really did have one more left, but he chose to retire early, and that that's probably good because that's less damage you take. So that's a good decision for him.
Talking about Bradley, November there's rumors saying that Manny Pacquiao might fight Jeff Horn for the rematch. Mm-hmm. Many seen it as a very controversial win over for Jeff Horn. Mm-hmm. So talking about controversial wins, do you think that it makes the win for Timothy Bradley against Manny Pacquiao more credible than Jeff Horn versus Manny Pacquiao? What are your opinions on that?
Timothy Bradley versus Pacquiao, that really was a controversial fight, but Bradley, it wasn't like Bradley didn't, I don't know, it's a hard one to talk about.
And what about Jeff Horn and Pacquiao? Yeah, of course.
That one, I honestly didn't see the fight. I saw the highlights, but from what I saw, Jeff Horn, he looked a lot more beat up than Pacquiao. Pacquiao didn't really have a scratch on him, but if the judges saw it that way, then you can't really argue with the judges. So.
Another potential matchup is going to be Gamero Rigidal versus Vasily Lomachenko. If that match happens, who do you got, and do you think the fans are going to be pleased in terms of their styles?
It's a hard one, but I think Lomachenko edges him out just a little bit, just because Guillermo Rigidal, he has a questionable chin. He's been knocked down like a few times, maybe like 4 times already, and Lomachenko, he just has the skills. And for the fans, if you're not like a true boxing fan, I don't think it'd be a good like, oh yeah, I want to see a knockout. It's gonna be a real chess match fight, and it's gonna be interesting if you're really into boxing. But if not, then it's gonna be a boring fight.
Boring fight. Another potential matchup is Miguel Cotto. His last fight is supposed to be in December. A couple names out there. It's David Lemieux, possibility Canelo. You got Charlo. Which ones would you prefer for Miguel Cotto to the last run?
He already fought Canelo, so Canelo's already out of there. Lemieux or Charlo, those are pretty good names. I really couldn't choose between the two. I like to see both of them. But Cotto, he was one of my all-time favorite fighters. So to see him fight either of them, and I'm pretty sure he'd do good against them too. That'd be a really good fight to watch.
Good fight to watch. Talk about Cotto. What's your favorite memory of Miguel Cotto throughout his career?
When he fought Mayweather, he was jabbing the lights out of him. Mayweather could not see his jab coming. That's where I get my jab from too. I've always studied Cotto, and one thing he has is a jab.
What about Jorge Linares versus Luke Campbell? Who do you got in that fight?
I got Linares.
Linares. Why you say that? Well,
because he has power, and I like the way he fights. I really do. There's something about him. I like the way he fights.
Last matchup, you got Willie Monroe Jr. versus Billy Joe Sanders for the WBO 160 champion. Who do you got in that fight, and the possibilities of them unifying the champions against Canelo Alvarez or Triple G?
I don't know much about Billy Joe Sanders. I have heard good things about him, and I've seen Willie Monroe fight, so I just keep it even right now since I don't know much about Sanders, but I have heard good things about him. And between him and Canelo, I think anyone who fights Canelo will lose, honestly. Canelo, he just has it. He has it all.
Any last words, shout outs, or the people that don't know about you yet and you want to make a statement?
First of all, shout out to AB Boxing News for coming out here, and follow me on Instagram, Virgil Ortiz, Virgil with an E, not an I, Vergil. Twitter, the same thing. And just watch out for me. I'm up and coming, six knockouts with only 6 fights. I'll be fighting an opponent with a good record, so it's not just I'm knocking out bums. I can knock out everybody else too. And just stay tuned.